Hi everyone, welcome to Rachel Pichler Yoga. If we haven't met before, my name is Rachel. Today we're doing a nice full body yoga for flexibility practice. So finding just a little bit of space to move as well as a strap of some kind would be great. And let's get started. So we're going to begin today in child's pose. So if you've got a strap of some kind, just move it off to the side. Coming onto your knees, bringing your knees out nice and wide, sitting back on your heels, and you can reach your arms out in front. Maybe pushing into the fingertips or the palms a little bit to send the hips back. Maybe starting to feel some love throughout the hips. And then bringing the chest, bringing the forehead all the way down when you're ready. And take a nice big inhale. And exhale, soften the shoulders. Relax the arms. Take another big breath in and out. And one more nice big inhale. And exhale. And you can stay just like this. Or if you want to add a side stretch, just use an inhale to lift your forehead a little bit. Maybe looking towards the fingertips. And you can start to walk your hands over to the left side, probably off of your mat. Reaching a little bit, finding some length through that right side body, that right arm, and relaxing it back down. Just closing your eyes. Feel the length. Feel the breath. And soften the shoulders. If you did come over to the left side, let's use an inhale to lift back up. Look to the fingertips again, walking your hands back to the middle of your mat. Maybe send the hips back slightly towards those heels, and you can keep walking your hands over to the right. Keep going till you find that nice stretch through the left side body, and then relax again. Awesome, you guys. Use the inhale to lift back up. Look to the fingertips. Walk your hands back to the middle of your mat. Maybe push into the palms. Send the hips back towards the heels. Feel those hips. And with an inhale, start to lift the hips up. And walk your hands in, finding a tabletop position. Maybe rocking the hips a little bit side to side. Maybe just be still for a moment. Awesome, you guys. All right, we're going to bring our right foot forwards, setting up a lunge to start. So just untuck your back toes, kind of try to find that left hip flexor as you encourage your hips down and forwards a little bit. And then you can also start to heel toe that right foot over to the edge of your mat for lizard. So you can bring your hands under your shoulders on the inside of that right foot. If you need a little cushion on that back knee, you can always roll your mat over for a little extra. But let those hips try to come down and forwards. If you have a strap of some kind to use today, have it close to you. Sorry, I should have said that before we set up our lizard, but grab it now. And just start to settle in here into those hips, that left hip, that right hip, and anywhere else you feel the love. And there's a couple things, couple options for you here. You could take this further into the hips. You could bring your forearms down to your mat or your chest all the way down to the floor. If you want to get into a twist and maybe even a quad stretch, we'll start with the twist. I'm going to stay up on my hands, but bring the right hand to the knee, starting to turn the chest to the right side. Maybe this is as far as you go. Maybe you reach up. Maybe you even add a little shoulder action to that right arm by bringing your hand to that left hip if it's available. A whole lot of options here, so you can decide what you want to do. If you want to get into the quad, you might be reaching back for that right foot, bending that knee. If you have a strap, that's gonna just help you get that foot, encouraging that foot towards your glute. And you might also feel that right shoulder while you're here. But just kind of find what works for you today, what feels good. And then we're going to start to make our way out of this. So if you do have your foot start there, let it come back down to the floor. If you're twisting, slowly start to turn yourself back to face forwards. Move your strap off to the side if you are able to, and then heel toe your foot to the middle of your mat, and let's send the hips back for some half split hamstring action. So finding the length through that front leg, just sending the hips back so they're over top of your knee, and you start to feel your hamstring. You can point your toes up to the ceiling, or you can relax your ankle if you need more. Drop your chest towards your knee. Find your breath here. Forget about those hips. Feel that calf, that hamstring. Awesome, you guys. With an inhale, we're just going to lift the chest up a little bit. I want you to be able to have your hands on the ground. We're just going to pivot. We're going to pivot to the left. So start to move the upper body to the left and let the legs start to pivot so that you are on that left knee still, but the right leg is out to the side so you can lift your upper body up. See if you can find a nice straight line through that right leg and that left hip. If you're able to point your right toes forwards, you might feel a little bit more of a stretch through this right leg. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But bring your hand to your thigh and then take an inhale and start to reach your left arm up towards the ceiling. And you can lean over to the side for a nice big side stretch. Awesome, you guys. Maybe looking down to the floor or forwards or up. Just find the length all the way from the fingertips down to that left knee. Beautiful, you guys. Use a big inhale to lift yourself all the way back up. And you can just bring your hands down and slide your right knee in. We're going to pivot back to face forwards and find our tabletop again. So maybe just rock side to side with the hips a little bit. And then let's start to set up that lunge with the left foot going forwards. So bringing that left foot forwards, sending those hips down towards the floor to get that right hip flexor, untucking those back toes, flip your mat over, roll it over if you need some extra cushion, and then heel toe your foot to that left side for your lizard. Take just a few breaths here, finding both of your hips. Maybe a little rock side to side if it feels good. Maybe just be still. And then you can decide now if you want to stay like this or lower to your forearms. If you're going to be twisting, keep that right hand down. Start to bring that left hand to your knee. Maybe this is as far as you go, or reach up, or slide your hand to that right hip. Maybe do a little bit of all of the options. If you want the quad stretch, use your strap, or maybe you can grab your foot without it. Just breathe softness into the legs. Relax the shoulders. And if you've got that quad stretch going, that foot lifted, slowly bring it down, coming out of the twist as well. And then heel toe your foot to the middle of the mat. Send the hips back, release the hip stretch, move into the hamstring, your half split. Just find your balance here. Find your breath. Awesome, you guys. And then just use an inhale to lift the chest up a bit. We're going to start to pivot to the right side. Setting up our gate pose. So pivot and then start to lift the upper body. Adjust that left leg. Try to find that nice straight line. And then resting your left hand on your quad with a nice big inhale. Reach the right arm up. Lean on over a little bit. Nice big side stretch. Maybe even a stretch for that left leg if you're lucky. Nice, you guys. Use a big inhale. Lift your upper body back up. You can bring your hands to the floor. Bring that left knee back in. Find your tabletop one more time. Maybe rock the hips a little bit. Awesome, you guys. We're going to cross our ankles. Have a seat and then lay all the way down onto your back. So we'll have our knees bent. We're going to get into our shoulders and maybe a little bit of a twist. So take your left hand, palm's going to face down. You're just going to slide it underneath your back, just a little bit underneath the side of your back, palm facing down, elbow out to the side. So you might already feel that nice rotation of the shoulder, and you might stay laying flat on your back. If you want a little bit more, you can start to let your knees fall over to the left side. And you can make a little adjustments with where that hand is on your back so you're not crunching any of those lovely bones in your hand. Once you start to feel the shoulder, just stay there. You only want to go as far as you need to in this one. So right now the right shoulder is resting on the floor. If you need more, you're going to start to lift the right shoulder like you want to lay all the way onto your left side. And if you're good there and you want even more, a little extra for the legs, you could cross the legs if that's available. But letting the knees be heavy to that left side, and that's going to deepen the shoulder stretch. So only go there if you need it. And this one can be kind of intense, so we'll start to move out of it. Nice and slow though. But use an inhale to lift the legs first and then bring that right shoulder down. Once you're laying flat, you can take your hand out from under you and hopefully feel like you need a little shoulder massage or shoulder roll. We're going to start to switch sides. So you can bring that right hand, remember, palm facing down under the back, just under the side of the back, letting the knees fall over if you're going there. Maybe lifting the left shoulder, and maybe crossing the legs. Nice, you guys. With an inhale, start to come back, lift the legs, lay on your back, bring your hand out from underneath you, take a little shoulder massage or shoulder roll. Maybe a little rock side to side with the knees, massaging the low back. You might have done this one with me last week, but I really like this stretch right now. We're gonna curl our toes under. So if you're able to use the floor to curl the toes under, you might feel this all the way from your toes up to your knees and everywhere in between. If you can't curl the toes under laying on your back, you could lift the feet up into the air and just curl your toes all on your own. But just here for a few breaths. If you can do both feet, you can do both feet at the same time. If you want to do 1 foot at a time, you can do 1 foot at a time. And maybe start to switch sides if you are doing 1 foot at a time. I love this stretch right now. Feels so good on my feet, on my ankles, on my toes. Nice, you guys. It's a pretty intense one, but feels so good. We can start to let it go. Ooh, resting the bottom of your feet on the floor, or maybe give the toes a little wiggle, shake them out a little bit. You can add a little rock side to side as well to massage your low back. And then eventually just send your legs out nice and long. Take a nice big inhale and exhale. Maybe keep wiggling the toes a little bit if they need it. And if you have time to do so today, I highly recommend you spend a few moments here in Shavasana. But thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day, and until next time, namaste.